We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where it's your guy, the Dress Down CEO, doing what I do best, which is giving you that most important information, helping you get to that financial destination that you would like to achieve. And this is what we do. Leverage your score with your host, Tyrone Glover, the Dress Down CEO. Thank you, everybody, for making it out this Tuesday. Again, I tell you and I tell my students all the time, where are you finding time? Where are you finding it? Is it underneath this? Is it in this phone? Where is that time that you're attempting to find? Ladies and gentlemen, you can't find time. You have to make that time. You have to make it. If you make that time, as I went over with my students, I gave them the four pillars, time management, accountability, responsibility, and the power of yet. Come on, people. Come on. We are older. We are older generation. We got to get out of our own way. So make that time. I'm congratulating you for making that time and for being here today. First and foremost, got to give a shout out to that creator, because without him, none of this would be possible. And give a shout out to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving weekend that's about to be upon us. Hopefully you are giving thanks, being grateful, being humble to what you have, and looking at others and saying, hey, how can I help you out? So this is what I do. This is my Thanksgiving gift and my appreciation to you, so that we can do what we need to do when we get to that next year and beyond. So this is Leverage Your Score. We are going to be talking about things today that's going to help you hopefully get to where you want to be. As I said, that final destination. What are you thankful for as you go through this session and as you go through until we get to that Thanksgiving? Hopefully you're doing all of the right things. But if you're not, please reach out. Reach out to Soul City Network. Reach out to Leverage Credit Recovery. Do your part, because the experts, I say it all the time, the experts are knocking. We are attempting to reach you by whatever means necessary, because we know you're going through it. We know the struggle is real, and you're going to need to talk to us. I am that insider's insider. Okay, I've said it before. I've worked for 30 plus years in corporate America. I've worked for 19 different companies, most of them Fortune 500s. I've worked with 5 unions. I can tell you right now, the information that I have and I possess is only going to help you. It's only going to help you. I've dove into a lot of the circumstances and situations that are hindering you, that are keeping you from. And now all I want to do is give it back. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. That's what these shows for. That's what these shows are for, to give it back free of charge. Free of charge. And all you got to do is tune in, follow up, do your part. When this information is given out to you, take those notes. And if you still have questions, reach out. How hard is that? I ask my students all the time, I say, who has a problem with X, Y, and Z? And it's so funny because they all do this. They do the T-Rex. They put their hands up because they don't want their other classmates to know that they might be in some form of distress. They might be in some form of need. So they keep their hand real low. And I said, all you T-Rexes, that's not going to work. Put that hand way up there. Let people know that you need assistance, that you need help. That's what these shows are all about. It's about giving you that assistance, giving you that help, because I see the hand. It's waving. I see the arm. It's up there in the air. Get that assistance. Thank you again for making that time. So let's dive on into what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about, let's talk financial wellness. We're not well, folks. We're not well when it comes to that finance. We're not where we need to be when it comes to that finance. And I want to get us there. It's so easy to do. It is so easy. This is not challenging any longer because, as I said before, I've done all the heavy lifting for you. All I need you to do is just do your part. Follow up. Do your part. If you do your part, the heavy lifting is already out of the way because that's what I am designed and programmed for by that creator. He said, son, I'm going to put it in your hands. He said, son, I'm going to give you the vernacular and the ability to speak it in the manner in which anyone can receive it. He said, son, just do your part and I will guide you along the way. So every Tuesday, I do what I do. Every Saturday, I do what I do. Every day of the week when I meet my students, I do what I do because we all need it. And if you are unsure, I'm giving you the permission, as Erykah Badu has given everybody the permission. Call Tyrone. Call Tyrone because I'm here to help you out. All right. So we're going to be talking. Let's talk financial wellness. Financial wellness. How well are you, folks? But before I dive into it, I am Tyrone Glover, the CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Thanks to the support of our streaming partner, Soul City Network, I am honored and privileged to bring you a meaningful financial literacy discussions and Q&A session every Tuesday at 6 p.m. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity and the esteem it brings. So thank you to my producers. Thank you to Matt, Jasmine. Thank you to Yana B, who is, again, an exceptional, beautiful, wonderful queen who knows exactly what she's doing in that arena where she resides. Because I tell you all the time, my space is credit. I'm here to help you manage, maintain, keep it up to where it needs to be so that you can still continue to shop at that 1% and 2%. But if you're shopping at 12, 18, 24, you're getting hosed. You're getting taken advantage of. I want to also give a shout out to every single one who is on that Soul City Network because they are doing their thing. Tony Robbins, doing their thing, every single one of us out there. Thank you. And everybody should make the time to go visit and see Soul City Network. Chime in to us on Facebook. Go to us on YouTube. You can find us on a variety of different platforms that are out there. Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. We are doing our thing, and I am so grateful and so honored to be a part of this process. And all we're doing, as I said, the experts are out there making sure that you need it, we got it. You got to stop sabotaging your own efforts, folks. You got to stop. So what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the history of credit. What is the difference between a credit score and a credit report? What are the different types of credits? How are FICO scores calculated? And how can I track my credit score? What's the state of your credit? Q&A, and then we're going to close it out with some remarks. But ladies and gentlemen, where are you right now? Where are you? Are you sitting in this 480? Are you sitting in this 700? Are you sitting in this 830? Either one of these is clearly a credit score that you may or may not have. But if you are down here and you need to get up here, well, guess what? This is the show you need to tune into. If you are here and you are in double-digit credit cards, this is the show that you need to tune into. And if you are at 830 and you're not shopping at 1% and 2%, this is the show that you need to tune into because you're getting taken advantage of. Again, we got to remember, we were in COVID. We watched inflation go to 9%, and core inflation still hasn't really come down that much, even though we may see on our social media sites or wherever we get our financial information, oh, inflation has dropped to 3 and 4. Okay, come on now. Trust me when I tell you, if you are getting ready to get into the gifting season, you are not getting a deal. All right? You're hearing it from the insider's insider. If you were smart, what you would do with that bread is you would hold on to it. If you are going out with, what you need to do is we need to send a clear message to the Walmarts, to the Targets, to the Gaps, to the Old Navies, to the Hollisters, to wherever we are going. I saw some stuff this weekend that almost literally, I was like, what? Who's spending that kind of bread on clothing? $1,000 for a pair of jeans, $300 and $400 and $500 for a shirt, $1,700, $1,600, $1,500 for a sweater or a pullover. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But if you have the luxury of being able to do that, I hope you're doing it at 1% and 2%. But if you're doing it at 16 and 20 and putting on a credit card, oh, good luck with that one. But I'm here to tell you folks, at some point, we have to stop making the rich richer while we're getting poorer. That doesn't work. It's an oxymoron. We have to decide what's more important. And I believe our financial wellness is more important. So do me this favor this year. While you're contemplating, as we go through the Thanksgiving season, giving thanks, think about the gifting season. Maybe you should give thanks to your portfolio prior to giving thanks to Walmart or Target. It's just a suggestion, folks. You can do what you want to do because y'all grown, right? Y'all grown. Okay, I'm talking to grown folks. I wasn't sure. All right, but we got to decide what's important. Got to get in front of it. So the history of credit. The credit score is among the most influential invention in personal finance, along with the credit card and the Dow Jones industrial average. Okay, influential inventions, personal finance. All right, they figured out a way to be able to monitor your behavior and then use it against you. Oh, yes. Even if you meet your contractual obligations, they've still found out ways to use it against you. Your insiders now trying to help you out with understanding those things that you have to do. That's why I just told you, don't go out spending that hard-earned bread. Again, you shouldn't be coming out of pocket. You should be coming out of profit. And if you don't know what that means, you got to tune in a little bit more. You got to tune in a little bit more because that right there, that statement alone should be having you look in the mirror going, what? Whoa. Is he talking to me? Because I'm talking to you. I'm talking to everybody out there who doesn't quite understand that your financial stability is being jeopardized by your behavior. And we got to decide one way or another. We got to decide, what do we want? Sanity, or do we want to continue down the road of insanity? Or insane, or insanity, I guess, which one is more of the proper way of pronouncing it. But one way or another, we can't do both. We can't do both, and you have to decide. And I'm for financial sanity, making sure that we're all okay. I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm not here to go back and forth with anybody. I'm here to give you information, valuable information that has been proven to help you get to that next level. But as influential as credit scores are, few people know the full history of how they came to be. So when were credit scores actually invented? That's a good thing to know. So what the history of credit, surprising as it may be, credit scores as we know them now are only a few decades old, but the history has lied. The groundworks for their development goes back almost 200 years. So we've been always dealing. It was called first and foremost bartering. If I had a cow and you had a sheep, we would barter with each other. I'll give you some milk and you'll give me some wool. If I had some chickens and you had a lumber yard, I would give you some eggs and some chicken, and you would give me some lumber. It was all known like that. And then as time went on, if you didn't have the chickens or the means of being able to, well, they would issue an IOU. And then the IOU slowly but surely became credit, and here we are today. Promising to pay. That's what credit is. I promise to pay you when I get my resources, and that allows for me to do what I need to do. So they've put it into a system where they're checking it every 30 days. If you do your part, guess what? You would hope that they do their part. But as I stated, they're not. They're not. We're living up to our obligation, contractual obligations as best we can, but we have a lot of uphills to travel when they themselves seems like all they do is skate. We have to do better. We have to do better by knowing what the circumstances are. We have to do better by understanding that not everybody who calls themselves a friend is actually a friend. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they are not your friends. And it's sad to have to say that some of these government entities as well, CFPB, which stands for the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, they're not your friend. FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation, not your friend. These individuals are about profit. They're about money. And I keep asking the CFPB, where does that money go when you all fine and fee someone? Where does that money go? Because it seems like y'all always collecting millions and hundreds of millions and tens of millions of dollars. Where does that money go? Should come back to us that are being harmed by these entities. But that's just another question for another show. But there you can see, we've always had credit. It was just named something different, and it's been around for about 200 years. All right, so the history of credit, 18 to 1900, the beginning of credit reporting. The earliest forms of credit reporting arose in the United States in the early 19th century, when commercial lenders used them to gauge the risk involved in lending to different prospective business customers. It's that simple. They started to figure it out, and then they figured, wow, this could be a lucrative business. By the mid-1800s, two of the most important credit reporting agencies were R.G. Dun & Co. and Bradstreet Company, which you now know as Dun & Bradstreet. Both these companies developed alphanumeric scores to predict the risk factors of commercial business applications. But they were a far cry from credit scores used today, and many critics accuse the agencies of being unfair to certain demographics. And again, they are unfair to many demographics. The way that credit is set out today, trust me when I tell you, your social security number impacted, your zip code impacted, where you, I mean, the conditions behind what we don't know when it comes to these credit reporting agencies and how they manipulate and dupe and how they go to Congress and get slapped on the wrist. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. Decades. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. But they still, when you have multi-billion-dollar industries and you're going to tell them not to do it again by fining them millions in fees and fines, that only emboldens them to do it again, because they can turn around, they can write that stuff off because it's a loss to their business. They know exactly how to manipulate the actual entity that's supposed to protect us. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. But as I say, you're hearing it from the insider's insider. All right, the history of credit, early 20th century, the birth of consumer credit reporting. The idea of consumer credit reporting would have been foreign to most banks in the 19th century. The earliest credit system mostly involved businesses that required loans to start and sustain their operations. But at the turn of the century, as workers began to earn more and a new consumer good flooded the market, retail started extending credit lines to individuals. Again, stores, yes, they still wanted to make them sell. So what did they do? I got you, my guy. Here you go. I got you, my lady. Here you go. And they extended that credit, and that's what we have today. Same retailers hired credit managers to evaluate the risk involved on a case by case. And that was the beauty of it, because you had a live person who was someone that you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going through some things, because they themselves were equally going through some things. So they gave you, and they went and talked to their bosses, and their bosses say, hey, we're going through some things too. All right, we're going to extend them. We're not going to harm them. We're going to extend them a little bit more time. But what do you think you're dealing with now? Do you think that algorithm or that AI is going to say, well, that's John, or that's Sally, or that's Tyrone, or that's Malik, or that's whoever, and we're going to give them some more time? Absolutely not, because they're now using AI and algorithms to obviously manage it so that they're above. They have to be above. Their profit margins have to be above. They have to be so high. And they will cut you off. They will reduce your utilization if you're not meeting the contractual obligation or the understanding in the manner in which it benefits them. They don't care if it benefits you, they care if it benefits them. But once you know the inside of how to make sure that it benefits you as well, then, as I said, you're going to be spending your profits and not spending your pockets. And it's really important to understand that. In 1912, these credit managers formed a national association to develop a standard method of, collecting, sharing, and codifying information on retail debtors. Yes. So now they have it. Now you get your very first credit reporting company, which was founded in 1899, the RCC, which eventually changed its name to, again, one of the most egregious abusers of all public credit information, Equifax. 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 They went through a breach situation, $800 and something million. Haven't seen a penny. Has anyone seen any of that money that Equifax was supposed to be giving out? They gave out free credit reports. Free credit reports that you can get anyway. But they still kept that $850 million. I still haven't seen a penny. CFPB, FTC, regulators. What happened to that money? Why didn't it come back to the citizens? For this egregious overreach that they had. They had a breach. We didn't have a breach. They breached us. But yet they're still fully operational. Come on now. You're playing us for fools. They're playing us for suckers. And I think my good friend Dr. Yana B has a book. She has a book that's referring to something like that. All right. Don't get played as a sucker or don't be a sucker. One of the two. But this don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. So they were founded in 1899, Equifax, and went on to become one of the big three credit bureaus, and they're bureaus because of the falsity behind what we think a bureau is. A bureau, according to us, is a government entity. So they adopted that name to strike fear into consumers. Because you don't want the Bureau after you. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. That's the Bureau. It might be related to the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. These are not bureaus. These are for-profit entities. They are credit reporting agencies. That's all. For-profit entities, which make billions of dollars off of our hard work, manipulating our ability to gain access to. It's tragic. And the other two that are equally in that same capacity, but not as bad, is TransUnion, which if you have a Credit Karma and you're using that, that's a TransUnion product. Please be careful when you're using it because those scores that they have might be real for TransUnion, but that other score that they have on there, it's not Equifax's. It's not Experian. So again, and then you have Experian. According to Experian, they're the most widely used. But you never know as a creditor. You don't know which one of these entities that they're going to be using to get your credit report. That's why it's really important to make sure that wherever you go, as you get ready to start gifting, as you get ready to start visiting all of your favorite stores, wherever it is that you're going to be going, watch out for we got this deal. You can get 10% off on this lovely item today. Would you like a credit card? Oh, go ahead and fill this out. It's only going to take me a few minutes. Oh, why do I know that? Because I've been in multiple stores where I myself was someone who was giving you that information, where I myself was someone who was making sure that our associates knew exactly how to promote that and get you to buy into it. Yes, that's what I did. That's what I did. I did that for 30 plus in a multitude of different industries. And I'm here to tell you now, the insiders telling you don't get caught up in the gimmicks. I love Kevin Hart. I love Samuel L. I love John Cena. I love all those actors who get out there and get that paycheck. I love you guys. But let me tell you right now, you definitely aren't getting 2%. You didn't go into there and say, okay, I'm going to take this contract and all I want is 2%. No, I'm sure you navigated and orchestrated something real lucrative for yourself. So stop getting on the airwaves talking about, oh, you can get 2%, 5% back. That's laughable. That's laughable. It's laughable. You know good and well it's laughable. So please stop, okay? But still, keep doing that. Keep earning your bread. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you. But now the insiders telling you that those gimmicks will not fly any longer. Sorry, they won't fly any longer. So again, 1970 to 1975, the era of consumer protections. So now we were in an area where they knew they were taking advantage, and somebody had to step in and say, okay, time out, put the brakes on. But what they didn't do is they didn't close any of the loopholes. They left them wide open, just like the door, wide open. They left them wide open, like the black hole, wide open. But yet they still came up with these consumer protection acts that were there and still are there to protect us. So in the 1970s, after the RRC announced the computerization of its credit files on millions of America, Congress had to pass a series of consumer protection laws in response to complaints, subjective, unfair, and inconsistent credit decisions. And who do you think it impacted the most? Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. African Americans. Who else? Thank you. Thank you. Hispanics as well. Who else? Yep. Women, primarily women. Who else? Yep. Young folks, the vulnerable, obviously seniors. Absolutely. You are all spot on. Congratulations. Yes, those were absolutely correct. That's why they had to come up with these understandings. In 1970, they came up with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. In 1974, they came up with the Equal Credit Opportunities Act. They armed to discover or discourage unfair credit reporting practices and protect consumers from lender discrimination. But did they go far enough? No. They didn't even know how to enforce it. They just slapped them with fines and fees. But where did that money go? Did it come back to the citizens who were being duped, who were being taken advantage of? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So as I said, they left gaping holes, huge monstrosities as holes. And did what with that funds? Oh, they kept it for themselves. Come on now. Come on. Too old and definitely not too tired. But I'm ready for this one. I'm ready. I've been waiting for this opportunity. I am positioned prime for this moment in our history to set the record straight, to course correct. Because if you want financial wellness, if you want financial stability, if you want financial freedom, you're going to have to start tuning in. And you need to start tuning in today, next Tuesday, next Saturday, the following Tuesday after that, the following Saturday after that. You can call me, as Erykah Badu says, call Tyrone. Call me, because you need this. You need this information. But while these acts regulate the credit bureau's behavior, the big three continue to expand their operation. All right, 1975, 1989, the first credit bureau FICO score. All right, so now they said, all right, so we have established the bureaus to monitor because we're giving out this credit. And we knew that we were creating all kinds of shenanigans and tomfoolery. So the regulator said, okay, we got to put the brakes on, but we're going to leave these gaping holes for you to keep jumping through. And then they said, well, we need to figure out something else. We need to start scoring it. We need to make it more profitable for us. So they took away the triple A's and the double A's and the single A's and the triple B's and the double, because that was way too much leeway that they were giving consumers to have to actually do good, even though there were these gaping holes. So they said, well, we gotta figure out something, because we're making a lot of profit, but we need to still make more profit. So they decided to come out with a scoring system. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, the big three credit reporting agencies continued working to develop a consistent, automated, and unbiased credit scoring system to evaluate consumers' credit reports, data, and assist in lending decisions. To that end, Equifax hired technical firms, Fair Isaac Corporation, who's known as Fair Isaac Corporation, or FICO, which is FICO, founded in 1956 by engineer Bill Fair and mathematician Earl Isaac. Fair Isaac Corporation had already been working on creating a standardized impartial credit scoring system for over 20 years. So they were already, as you should already know about everything in this country. Somebody decades ago has already seen what is coming down the pipeline, so they already have orchestrated. Just like they've been waiting for the opportune time to turn our democracy into an autocracy. If you don't be careful, folks, if you don't be careful, in 1989, Fair Isaac and Equifax launched the first model score called Beacon. And now it's changed and it's changed and it's changed. They got all kinds of scoring models now. All kinds of scoring models. You have actually 23 to 28 credit scores, but they only use 3. Wonder why? So in the 1990s to 2000, growth of credit scores. In 1995, this wonderful, horrible entity called Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac announced that lenders would be required to use FICO scores on residential mortgage applications, lending to a significant uptick in use through the 1990s. Again, government entities says, hey, let's partner with these entities and continue to keep duping our consumers. Yes, I have it. You want me to sit here and tell you fables and falsities. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth, and I have challenged every single one. Financial, excuse me, my apologies, CFPB, FTC, SEC, SEC, government agencies. It doesn't matter. Congress, bring me to Congress. I would love to go to Congress and sit there and tell them the truth about how they have harmed this, all of us, every single last one of us. How they have put us in harm's way by becoming bedfellows and females to these institutions, which they were never supposed to do. They did it anyway because it enriched it. That's all. And in 2006, the three credit bureaus created the Vantage Score, a subsidiary LCC that developed its own proprietary credit scores to compete. Okay, so you had a monopoly, so you brought in another one to have even what? They both have a monopoly. It's not like we can go somewhere else and use them. No, we can't, because you both knew how to manipulate the system. Over the years, both FICO and Fair Vantage scores have continued to revise their methods and release new versions of their software. FICO Score 8, introduced in 2009, is still the most used FICO Score version today. 2010 to today, consumers permissioned scorable data. In 1995, Fannie Mac, and we've already gone over that. But again, I had to reiterate it because of the fact that the government should be protecting its people, and it does its best as possibly can. But when its hands are tied and it doesn't have enough resources, guess what? We, the consumer, we're the ones who become victims. And we need to get out of this victim mentality over things that should not be a victim mentality. This right here, absolutely taken advantage of. But I'm here to tell you now, you can, if you know how, you can get yourself out of these circumstances. If you know how, and that's what these shows are all about, to give you the know-how so that you can get out and from behind these circumstances and these situations, because all they're doing is creating more hardship, not just for you, but they're creating more hardship for that family. And that's why I do what I do. And I'm going to do it until the man upstairs pulls my card and says, hey, I need you for another task. But we got to do better, folks. We have to do better. And if we do better, I'm telling you, everything that we think is going to change is going to change for the better. It's going to change for the better. Credit bureaus typically only consider credit lines when they compile their reports. Both in recent years, they've introduced programs to let consumers add other types of credits to their credit reports as a way to help improve their credit scores. But now, Now they're taking all that again away from you. You get a new credit card, it's gonna drop your history. You get a late payment. Oh, there's nobody going to call you and tell you, oh, we're not going to drop you down 60, 80, 120 points. You get a item that goes into a derogatory. Yes, you're going to lose a lot of points. But it's so fascinating that on the rise, what happens? You see things stagnate as always. Wage stagnation, credit stagnation. There's so many stagnated situations going on in our country today. There's no wonder that we're frustrated and tired of both parties. Democrats might be leaning more towards aiding and helping the people, and we already know about that other side. They done went total MAGA. But this is not a political show, folks. This is a financial show. But unfortunately, it all intertwines. It all intertwines. In 2018, Experian introduced Experian Boost, where they would allow you to go out and add your utilities, subscriptions, and maybe sometimes you can put your rent on there. But this should have been something that should have already been in existence. Why is it that you can put your mortgage on your credit report, but you can't put your rent on your credit report? I mean, make it make sense. There's no reason why you can't. Now, all of a sudden, decades later, oh, now they're even doing something where, guess what? You can apply for a car loan and it won't even hit your credit report. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my. Please, gimmicks. They could have did this decades ago and saved a lot of people from the hardship. We could have had homes. We could have had auto. We could have been doing the right things had they introduced these understandings decades ago. But they knew it was profitable. They knew that it would keep a certain amount of individuals out of this market. So they would have to use a secondary market, payday loans, check cashing places. Really? Well, as I told you, the shenanigans is up. The tomfoolery is done. The snake oil salesmen, we know what you're doing. The carnies, we're on to you. And that's why I'm telling you, folks, stop. Stop today. Do not find yourself in a situation where you're signing yourself up for another credit obligation that's going to charge you 24, 28, 16, 19, whatever the double-digit percentage is. Stop. You have to start, and we have to start sending a resounding message out there to the institution. Thank you, but no thank you. And eventually they'll learn. Eventually, it's not going to harm us at all because we can take our bread, as I told you. You should be spending profits and not pocket. So you can take that bread, put it back in your pocket, and I can show you other ways of growing it. Not just myself, but as I told you, I have those who are experts in their own lane. My lane is credit. So if I can help you with securing the best interest rates so that you can keep more of your money, what do you think I want you to do with that money? I want you to put it into the hands of somebody who's going to make sure that you're getting those double-digit returns. If you don't know anything about the Rule 72, ladies and gentlemen, you need to Google it. Rule 72, Google it. If you are not doubling your money in a certain time frame, what in the world do you think is happening with your money when it's in those financial institutions? They're doubling theirs, and they're doubling it beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. All right, so what is the difference between a credit score and a credit report? Your credit score and credit report are two different products, but they are closely related. Lenders use both to determine your credit worthiness. The three major credit reporting companies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, each compile their own reports listings your various lines of credit. Each report is different since not all lenders report to all three agencies, but each contain a detailed list of your credit accounts and payment history. They also contain information on things like credit inquiries, repossessions, and bankruptcies. Those are the derogatories that you do not want to see, folks, because you get anything like that, crash and burn. But is there recovery? Yes. That's the beauty of this entire process. You have to know if I get or find myself in a situation where I'm not as where I'm not producing in the manner in which I should, is there a remedy and a recourse that will put me back on that path to success? Well, I'm here to tell you now. Leverage credit recovery. Leverage credit recovery. Say it with me. Leverage credit recovery. Not that hard. Not that hard. So what they don't contain is your credit what they don't contain in your credit scores. Instead, your credit scores is compiled by separate companies using FICO or Vantage based on the information contained in your credit report. Again, different companies use different algorithms, but both FICO and Vantage products a 3-digit number between 300 and 850. All right, if you're in that 300 area, clearly that's not good. And you can work your way up. You just have to know how to use your products. You have to know how to maintain and also monitor. We monitor our battery levels on our phone. We monitor our gas levels in our car. We monitor our blood pressure. We monitor so many things in this world. But when it comes to our financial understanding, we will give almost nothing towards monitoring our credit. That has to stop. If you want to see yourself, find yourself in that 820, 830, 840, 850 range, well, these are the things that you're going to have to do. And one of them that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to monitor your credit if you want to be financially well. The highest credit score gives you access to the best financial products and the best terms. I'm not telling no one to stop shopping. I'm not telling no one to not go out there and give that hard-earned too. But I'm telling you to do it in a manner in which it's going to benefit you as well. Credit is a building transaction method. Credit is a building transaction method. And if you're not building, what's happening with you? Staying stagnant. And you're giving your hard-earned to some other company, some other entity. Guess what they're doing? They're building. I keep telling you, this is not hard. It's super, super simple. But you're going to need somebody who knows, that can coach you, that can aid you, that can guide you through the process. Once you're there, you're going to be able to skate on your own. Once you're there, you're going to be able to ride on your own. Once you're there, you're going to be able to drive on your own. Once you're there, you're going to be able to fly on your own. But we got to get you there first. All right. So what are the different credit score models? Although most lenders use either the FICO or the Vantage score to determine your eligibility for a loan or credit line, several other scorings exist for specific purposes. The FICO score. FICO is the most commonly used scoring model. It gathers information from all three of the major credit bureaus, and I leave that word in there specifically so I can laugh at it because they're not bureaus. These are credit reporting agencies, for-profit entities. They have nothing to do with the government, nothing other than they go down to Congress and they lobby Congress to keep their profits going in the manner in which they should not be going. But hey, this is why you have the insider's insider. So the different versions exist for specific loan types, like the FICO auto score and the FICO bank card score. So you have auto score, you have a bank card score, you have a line of credit score. You have so many different scores out there that it's sad. Can you imagine in school, if you took one test and you had 5, 9, 10, 20 different teachers grading that test, and each one of them came out with a different result? You'd probably be like, what the heck? And we don't need to have all that. But again, as I stated, they're looking out for their bottom line. Guess who should be looking out for yours? You should. So the Vantage score, the big three credit bureaus created the Vantage score to compete with the popularity of the FICO score model. The most recent version of the Vantage score is the 4.0, and I'm sure it's probably now been updated. The plus scores were developed by Experian for consumer education purposes. Oh, now I wonder why our student loans are so astronomically crazy and why we can never get anything taken care of it, and why the Biden administration and the administration previously to that didn't give two flying farts, but the administration before that literally did what it could to try to help students, and we're still back where we are. You need to forgive these student loans because you duped students into taking something that you knew was harmful. You knew it was harmful and you allowed for it to be put out there, harming students, harming our most vulnerable. Students, if you need an advocate, by all means, reach out. Anybody who has a student loan, you need to start talking to me, because if we come together, you need a spokesperson. You need somebody who is not intimidated by those individuals in Congress, who's not intimidated by banks, who's not intimidated by none of these lenders. That's what you need. And I'd be more than happy to do the heavy lifting. More than happy to do the heavy lifting. But you got to get out of your way and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to trust somebody. I'm going to put that trust back in someone. And I'm telling you right now, I'm a very trusted individual. I am a very upfront, honest, in your face, know it all when it comes to my lane, my space. And I challenge anyone, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, Congress, banks, CEOs, CFOs, COOs, president, it doesn't matter. Because I know what I know. And believe me, I am not shaken by anyone who thinks they know more. And if you do know more, you're only going to make me that much more formidable. So please, students, anyone who's got credit situations that they can't get out of or see no way of, you need to reach out. Because if you do, I got you. The Trans Risk Score, developed by TransUnion. Your Trans Risk Score was a scale from 100 to 900 and is only used to determine credit risk. So we got another score, Equifax score. Like the Plus score, the Equifax score is only used for educational purposes. It ranges from 280 to 850. Again, another score. All right, it's ridiculous. But here is the key to making sure that you maintain a perfect credit score. All right, you got to pay on time. That's 35% of your overall credit score. You got to pay on time. All right. You have to bring down your utilization. You get a credit card. All right. You start off at 0, but you still have a limit. You start off at 0, but you still have a limit. You can use the whole thing. I've heard some really wild stuff. Oh, I'm only supposed to use 30% of my credit. If you got $1,000, why would you only use 300? Doesn't make any sense. You can use the whole thing. Now, what's smart is bringing it down back to that 30%. That means you free up 70% of that credit. Now, the industry and the algorithms, they love to see. I went from maxed out and I brought it right back down to what the industry wants. But based on your credit score, you might need to bring it down a little bit further to maintain a understanding with your algorithm that they're using. And if you do it properly, you do it consistently. All right. We don't know nothing about that word, because if we did, we wouldn't be doing this with our credit. Credit should never be a roller coaster with a bunch of ebbs and flows. Credit should be a rocket, and it should always be going up. Always, if you maintain this type of an understanding. All right. So paying on time, credit utilization, that's 65 points. In any country, in any school, in any continent that I've been on, 65 is a passing grade. 65 is a passing grade. Are you going to get some ancillary points? Absolutely. You're going to get some ancillary points from these other factors here. New credit. New credit is inquiries. You don't want to be out there inquiring. 5 inquiries in a year is it. You do any more than that, that credit's going to hit the bottom. It's going to bottom out. Not necessarily bottom out. I'm just giving you, obviously, the dramatics behind it. But you're going to see your score go down if you're inquiring. It's kind of like asking somebody out on a date. You already know that they do not like you in that manner, but they'll hang out with you and they'll chill with you, but they don't like you in that manner. But yet you still trying to move your way in there. Oh, yo, come on. No, that's desperation. Please stop doing that, because you're setting yourself up for failure. So stop. You've asked once, you've asked twice, done. Get that credit score up, then come back when you look a little bit better, when you've shined it all up. Then maybe somebody might see you in a different light and go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, something looks a little bit different about that. All right, your credit mix, making sure you have a nice mixture. when you making whatever it is, man, and I use the salads for a perfect understanding, because when you get a tossed salad, when you have a salad, you put the lettuce in there, you got the tomatoes in there, you got some carrots in there, you have maybe other varieties of lettuce as well, the greens. Then you put some, I don't like onions, but I see people put onions in their salad, raisins, and then you add some meat, whether you like fish, tuna fish, or whether you like some salami or whatever type of thing, you got a salad mix. That's what you should have as well for your credit. You should have a nice credit mix, auto, lines of credit, credit cards with logos and without logos. There are so many credit products out there. So that mix would be nice. Say you got another 5 from the credit, new credit from not inquiring or keeping those inquiries low. Say you got another 5 from the credit mix at 65, adding another 10, you're at 75. Again, credit is going upwards. And that last but not least is your credit history. Credit history, that gives you another 15 possible points. Credit history, that means how long have you had credit? And if you've had it over an extended period of time, you want to make sure that that history is correct. But as always, as these companies do, credit history was giving you too much. So they figured, okay, you know what? If this person gets another credit card, we're going to drop that credit history in half. What smart person in Congress said, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Matter of fact, it's such a good idea. Can I get a kickback off of the return that you're going to be getting from these consumers? Because now you're cutting their history in half. Come on now. We're smarter. We're brighter. We're intelligent. We're savvy. You sent us to school to get educated, but yet you still think we're stupid. I am shocked and appalled. All right, so we got to wrap this up. We're about 7 minutes out. Do I got any questions out there? I keep asking all of you. If you got a question, you got something you want me to answer, drop it in that hotline. Drop it somewhere where I can see it, and I'd be more than happy to answer that question for you. All right? I'd be more than happy to answer whatever questions that you got. You can drop them in there. We're about 7 minutes out, but we're going to wrap this up. This has been fantastic. I love it. I appreciate it. So thank you so much. And let's keep it moving. So how can I track my credit score? Most financial institutions let you check your credit scores for free using the online portals. That's Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. And guess what, folks? It's not for free any longer. That's where the profit margin is. That's where they're making a lot more of their money. They'll give you the score, and I think CFPB or annual credit report needs to capitalize on that too. They need to stop letting the money go to those who can manipulate the system and make sure that they, the entity that can help consumers, also equally give the score. Why are you giving the credit report? I understand it completely. I get it because I deal with credit reports all the time. I help consumers remove as many negatives as I possibly can. And let me tell you, folks, if you know what to do, you can get the negatives off your credit report. And it's super simple and super easy. All right. So you can check your free credit scores as often as you want without causing any harm or any hard credit inquiries. That is called a soft inquiry. And the beauty of, again, nothing was beauty, but I'm saying it anyway, with COVID, we lost way too many citizens. We lost way too many parents. We have way too many kids who have lost both parents. COVID was nothing of beauty, but the one good thing that came out of it was it allowed for you to get your credit report free every single week from annualcreditreport.com. Free, weekly. And of course, they will be changing that because anything that they do to benefit consumers, it's always like they snatch it right back. But I'm here to tell you, folks, if we come together, if we do what we need to do, we can rectify, we can reverse a lot of the harm that has been done. But we got to come together. If we come together, African Americans, Hispanics, students, women, seniors, those 5 groups alone, if we came together, we'd be able to shake this up like nobody's business. All right, so this is the show that I did on Saturday, folks. Ooh, did I let them have it? Did I let them have it? Unlocking Financial Success, a comprehensive guide by the Insider's Insider. That's who I am. I'm an Insider's insider. That's what I do. I'm an insider, 30 plus years, 19 different companies from a variety of sectors. Flight attendant, airline, shoe sales, Foot Locker, entertainment, Universal, retail, fashion, a variety of different stores, Old Navy, education now, which is my love, oh my God. I am so grateful for the academia that I'm able to be in right now to help these vulnerable, impressionable youth to understand that, folks, TikTok's not your friend. Facebook is not your friend. Instagram, social media, they're not your friends. But yet you want to spend all the time in the world just scrolling left, scrolling left, scrolling left, scrolling left, scrolling left. Folks, we got to wake up. And again, that woke word, yes, we need to wake up. So I'm here, I'm dinging the alarm. Ding, 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 ding. It's time to get with the program, folks. But you need to go back and you need to check this out. Go to my YouTube, Leverage Credit Recovery. Check out this. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow. It was such a great show that I did on that Saturday at the library. It was such a great show. It was such a great show. So go back, check it out. It's got some really good tidbits in there. It's going to help you get to that next level. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you get to that next level. So the floor is open, folks. I got about 3 more minutes to get some questions out there. Anybody got any questions for me? If you do, go ahead and drop them in there while we get ready to wrap this up. As always, this is one of my favorite days of all days. I love every day because I'm just that type of a person. I know how to spend my profits and not spend my pocket. I know how to elevate my credit situation and get it to where that ideal standpoint. I'm waiting until things come back down, and I'll wait. I have no problem. My financial situations are getting better and better and better because I have patience on my side, because I have knowledge on my side, because I have God on my side. So I'm not rushing. I am not in any position to put myself back out there and get into harm's way because of what? No patience. I make time. And when I make time, I find out that I don't need to rush myself to do stuff that I used to do that was only taking from my pocket because I didn't have much profit. But now that I have more profit, my pockets is looking very, very good. They're looking very, very good. And this is where I want to get you. I want to help you leverage your score so that you can stop coming out of pocket. All right. Leverage that score so you can stop coming out of pocket. I want you all to write this down somewhere. You should be coming out of profit and not coming out of pocket. It's not that hard. You just need a coach. You need somebody who can navigate the minefield. You need somebody who can navigate the complexities of what the industry has put in front of you, because it's really not that complex. It's actually pretty simple. But if you don't have that mentor, if you don't have that leader, if you don't have that person in that corner that you can call, that you can, hey, I need a quick 1, 2, or 3. And once you do, I'm telling you. So I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart for always tuning in. To get in touch with us, here you go. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Contact me at 805-428-9424. Again, that's 805-428-9424. Email me at leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on our Linktree. Linktree. Just type it in your Google browser, Linktree, Leverage Credit Recovery. Linktree, type it in that Google browser, Leverage Credit Recovery. Or just send us a little drop in the mail, P.O. Box 55, Yonkers, New York, 10702. My apologies, 10702. All right, as always, ladies and gentlemen, I am always pleased and thankful for doing what I do. Everybody, please have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Travel well. Stay safe. I hope to see you back here either Saturday or Tuesdays. As always, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and my pleasure to share this love and this message to you. Be safe as always.